forecast first.
Good morning, Western Slope. Thanks so much for joining us on your Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week, and we're now starting to see some of that sun starting to come up. Sunrise officially starts around 7 o'clock this morning, and with that, well, we're not really seeing any clouds at all. And in fact, very calm and clear conditions outside on our radar and satellites. Not really much going on. The only thing is that it's kind of keeping our temperatures a little bit cooler today. Mostly into the 50s and 40s right now. 52 into Grand Junction, 47 degrees into Montrose, and we are looking at 30-degree temperatures into the higher elevations. But believe it or not, we're actually going to be the warmest that we have been for the last few days. In fact, if we look at our weather headline, our temperatures are going to be into the 80s for today. And even though it's chilly now, it's actually going to be warmer for a little while before we see the next round of some more fall-like temperatures. I'll tell you just how long that warm sticks around before we get a little bit cooler.
A woman in Denver is facing assault charges after being caught on camera hitting a school bus employee. It happened last week when the bus driver called police because the students reportedly became unruly. Jamie Leary reports.
This is all parents heard when they began to arrive to the bus, parked in between stops in front of an elementary school.
I hear kids crying and screaming. They all tried to ask what's going on. Nobody wanted to say anything. They wouldn't speak to any parent.
One mother took to social media over the weekend to share her story. Her question, the same as other parents involved.
Why are you holding my children? Why are you holding the kids? What's going on? There's parents that are on there at the next stop, which is a block away.
Police say Brandy Martin, a mother who entered the bus, attacked the driver and a paraprofessional. Video shows Martin hitting the paraprofessional, who grabs her by the hair. Martin was the only one charged. Denver Public Schools now says the driver and paraprofessional should have let the kids go.
It's clear that was not handled to the expectations we have. It is important as a district that when kids are in our care, that they feel safe and cared for. And unfortunately, that did not happen.
Even despite reports of several children acting unruly, DPS believes there were opportunities to de-escalate.
It might have been a different way to look at how you handled that situation and just being able to let those kids out to be reunified with those parents.
A group of people impacted by the 2012 movie theater shooting in Aurora are now asking a major entertainment company to help fight gun violence. 5 survivors sent a letter Tuesday urging Warner Brothers to lobby for gun control, saying they were compelled to act after seeing a trailer for the upcoming film Joker. The movie, which will be released into theaters on October 4th, has already been criticized for its dark imagery and potential to fuel violence. The mother of one victim spoke with Dominic Garcia about the film.
Can you please stop bothering my kid?
The new Joker movie has people across the country talking. And one of them is Sandy Phillips.
When I saw the trailer, I was very alarmed at what I was seeing and hearing.
Sandy's daughter, Jessie Galway, was killed in the Aurora theater shooting. She's worried about the impact this movie will have on people who have been affected by gun violence.
We started digging deeper about what was in the movie, how dark it was, and the violence.
She and others affected by the shooting sent a letter to Warner Brothers asking that they end political contributions to candidates who take money from the NRA. They also asked them to lobby for gun reform and help fund survivor and gun intervention programs.
We did not want them to ban the movie or pull the movie. We wanted them to have civic responsibility, corporate responsibility, and to do the right thing by survivors of gun violence.
Warner Brothers responded saying, in part, the movie is not an endorsement of violence, and they believe that one of the functions of storytelling is to provoke difficult conversations around complex issues. Sandy Phillips tweeted her response to Warner Brothers.
It was not good enough, and that's all I said. And that's all I will say until they choose to do better.
On May 7th, police say 2 armed teens walked into their high school and started shooting, killing student Kender Castillo and injuring 8 others. Both shooters, 18-year-old Devin Erickson and 16-year-old Alec McKinney, are now in jail facing charges for murder and attempted murder. Rick Salinger was in the Castle Rock courtroom yesterday as one of the teens went before a judge for his preliminary hearing, and he brings us the report.
This was not an easy day for John and Maria Castillo. They came to hear why
and how their son Kendrick was killed. This father vowed he would not miss a court session.
It's important to be here to see that justice is being served and sit and face the evil that took our son's life.
Devin Erickson's defense was clear. Blame what happened on his co-defendant. In interviews with detectives, he insisted that Alec McKinney threatened his life. It was at the Erickson family home before the shooting that McKinney was seen on a video with an axe over Devin. There they used cocaine and spray painted the family car with obscenities, the number 666, and a pentagram. John Castillo has a label for what took place that day: domestic terror.
We need to have rapid, quick punishment, and we need to identify what it really is, and that is domestic terrorism.
At the school, the defendants were seen on a video played for the court, though not of the shooting itself. Erickson told investigators his goal was to save lives and was forced to take part in the attack.
Both teens have been charged as adults, and that hearing will continue again this morning. The city of Denver is now one step closer to raising the minimum age required to buy tobacco products from 18 to 21. In addition, the proposed ordinance would impose a licensing tax on tobacco stores and would also require new stores to be at least 1,000 feet away from daycare facilities, schools, and city recreation centers. An abused dog that was blind, deaf, dumped in a trash can and left for dead is now getting a second chance. As Tom Mustin shows us, she's well on the road to recovery, and it's all thanks to her 2 guardian angels.
Any creature deserves life, and they deserve a good life.
She's deaf and blind and walks with a limp.
Just kind of fallen in love with her. You can't help it.
And thanks to her new parents, she'll never be afraid again.
Every animal deserves a chance to live in peace and comfort.
Last Saturday, Ed Baker and his husband Nick Hardgrove saw a post on Nextdoor about an injured Shih Tzu dumped into a trash can near 28th and Lafayette.
It said that she was in the trash and covered in cobwebs, and Ed immediately responded.
Minutes later, the couple brought the dog home.
Gave her a bath, gave her some food and water, and just kind of let her sniff around.
Ed named the dog Marge. He immediately posted pictures online asking if anyone knew where she came from. No one responded. Nick says Marge had obviously been through some kind of trauma, but after a few days, she stopped shaking and started trusting her new family.
Makes me feel happy, and I'm just glad she has a good home.
The couple says Marge is about 10 years old, and they realized quickly she couldn't see or hear and was having trouble walking. They're not sure what happened to the pup, but they say nothing justifies what Marge has been through.
If somebody didn't want to go through the challenges of taking care of her, there are so many other options, and a trash can is not where you put a living creature.
Ed and Nick say unless someone steps forward, they plan on keeping Marge, and they'll do whatever it takes to make her feel safe and welcome.
They take care of us in a lot of ways, and so there's no reason we can't reciprocate.
The couple says that Marge needs surgery and dental work, so they've started a GoFundMe page to help get the pup back in good health. If you want to help, just go to www.gofundme.com and search for Marge the Abandoned Blind Shih Tzu. And we are going back to back this morning with a double dose of dog stories to kick off your Wednesday morning. This one's about a Thornton family that was on vacation when their hearts were pulled toward 2 homeless dogs. So they decided to rescue them and bring them home. But as Kelly Worthman shows us, their good deed turned into quite the surprise when those pups unexpectedly multiplied.
8-year-old Braden and his little sister absolutely love puppies.
They look like furry fluff balls.
And this box full of furry fluff balls in his parents' bedroom came as quite a shock.
Zero idea. They were skin and bones.
While on vacation in the Caribbean, the Bolts family discovered a couple homeless dogs.
They literally walked up and just had these sad faces.
The family couldn't help but fall in love, so they made special plans to bring them back to Colorado.
All the stars had to align, and everything worked out perfectly.
Right away, from a healthy diet and loving home, or so they thought.
And it was just like, this dog is pregnant.
Coconut surprised the family with a litter of 10. But wait, there's more. Sweet Maisie soon delivered 7 puppies of her own.
How many puppies are in your house right now?
21.
Yep, 2 new moms plus 17 puppies, along with the 2 dogs who already called this house home, the Bolts family more than quadrupled practically overnight.
It's very overwhelming, but the support that we've gotten from our community and family and friends has been outstanding.
Well, that is an adorable story. Can you imagine adopting 2 dogs and having that many dogs in your house? Well, according to Jen and my significant others, the amount of dogs we have is enough, but if they let us, we would have more. Just going to say that. Well, we're looking at a very clear sky outside. That's causing some very chilly temperatures this morning, but believe it or not, we're actually going to be the warmest we have been all week long. I'll have your entire day timed out for you coming up next. But for now, let's take a look at our pollen forecast, brought to us by Allergy and Asthma Center of Western Colorado. We'll be right back.